Hello wonderful people and welcome to another color study. Today we're looking into PG50, Cobalt Turquoise. Cobalt Turquoise is one of my favorite colors to have on a palette, but it comes with two different pigment coats and a suspiciously similar appearance. PG50 and PB28. Today we're looking deeper into PG50, which can range between turquoise and green in appearance. But PB28 is on my list too, so there will be a comparison of both in time. For this study I chose Cobalt Teal by Core with that pigment. PG50 is beautiful, but also it is considered semi-opaque to opaque. It can have a good coverage. It is granulating, and that it does in the most wonderful way, and semi-staining. In my experience among the brands I have tried, it revettes nicely, but I don't want to exclude that some brands might have issues with revettability. It's just not known to me as a problematic pigment. And it had medium tinting strength, because I'm testing that now too, and adding it to all the pages for future references. In addition, it has excellent light fastness and heat resistance. The pigment is heavy and doesn't flow that much, although it moves some in water. When swatching it, it's just beautiful to see though, how it settles and separates and mixes, leaving beautiful textures. If you watch closer, you can see how seemingly smooth mixes separate when drying and don't dry as smooth as it was applied. This, of course, happens only if there is enough moisture for the pigments to actually move in. I might have forced it in some areas by dabbing in more paint, but from my painting experience, PG50 does just that. PG50 neutralizes into a perfect cool, almost a silvery blue-gray around the oranges and very warm reds. I achieved beautiful grays with PO64 and PO71 and fell in love with the mix using PR101 Venetian Red. That is also the mix I used for the two color study, which I have no footage of, sorry. But it was very relaxing to paint this little landscape with waterfalls. The mix ranges from the wonderful bright turquoise to cool silver grays to dark browns, almost reminding of burnt umber or sepia, and reddish hues coming from the iron oxide alone. Both pigments granulate when there's enough water for them to flow and can stay well contained when painted fairly dry. Both give me an opportunity to create effects on purpose and just enjoy the process. The mix also increased the value range of PG50, which alone is more narrow. In the monochromatic painting, I was able to achieve nice darks, but in comparison to other pigments, it could still be somewhat of a middle tone. Still, it was not a problem for me personally to use one pigment only to paint. In the mass tone, I used the paint directly from the pan and had an almost creamy consistency. It helped to create the darkest darks of the painting and also create a dramatic lightning effect that I added in the end. And painting the scat reminded me why I enjoy this pigment so much, that I use in gouache too. It creates almost a glow and adds to the brightness of the paintings. And this is something I enjoy fully. When talking about cobalt pigments, I feel it's almost unavoidable to talk about their toxicity. In the post for Patreons of the watercolor database, suncolors.com, I added a long passage on the toxicity of this pigment. And let me tell you, according to all the safety data sheets I've read, PG50, unlike some other cobalt pigments, is indeed not toxic. The pigment is stable and not water-soluble. It also doesn't create fumes or gases, so it's considered safe for the use of painting. There are some health issues based on the loose pigment if it's breathed in, but that is the case for all loose pigments, powders, and even dust. Breathing those in will harm your lungs, so don't sniff pigments. Also, don't eat paints. Some as handprint label the pigment as mildly toxic, with the links leading to the sources being outdated, so I never could confirm what led to this conclusion, Safety sheets from Kramer and other sources label it as not toxic. Links to all are down below, so you can read up on that yourself. I wanted to mention this because so many seem to be scared by the word toxic, that they avoid a beautiful range of pigments altogether. Cobalts will not penetrate your skin, and as long as you don't eat your paints, there is no exposure really. I always advise not to eat paints, lick the pens or brushes, because the paints have other substances in the binder, like biocides, which in addition to maybe toxic pigments, are not healthy to consume. These pigments are sold for adults, so the risk of eating them should be little. I would not give them to little kids, but even teenagers understand this danger, or should do it, so that's why I consider them safe. Another concern on this pigment is the environmental impact, so please be cautious when discarding this pigment. A greater impact than that is indeed the impact mining has. And now we need to go into depth of cobalt mining. Not only the mining itself is a tedious and possibly dangerous job, because cobalt can have toxic fumes when mined. The majority of cobalt is mined in the Republic of Congo. There are some bigger mines that apparently have safety precautions in place, but also small mines which don't. So there have been accidents during mining that caused death cases. In addition, the washing of cobalt causes the area around those mines to be polluted to the point that water is not suitable to drink, cook, wash yourself, or laundry even. The ground is also polluted, which damages crops and harvest. This has a great impact on the people in an already poor country and difficult life circumstances, which is actually a valid point to avoid cobalt. Again, I will link everything down below. It was a great read for me, and maybe it will help you form your own opinion about cobalts. I still like them as paints. The beauty of the pigment is just too tempting for me, and I hope you all enjoyed the journey. Next pigment study is coming soon. If you want to nerd around ahead of time or watch them live, join on Twitch. I stream twice per week, and it's a fun time for me. And the community too, I hope. You can also join Discord to the wonderfully nerdy, wholesome community. We have a color study group going on where people share their results, tests, pages, and it's glorious. I love to see them all and truly enjoy my time there. Have a wonderful and creative day, everyone, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!